Jupiter, Jupiter, Jupiter. When you think of Jupiter, you think of Haru in African culture. You think of Horus in the Greek culture. You think of Krishna in the Buddha culture, a Hindu culture. And you think of your religious figures like Jesus. You think of all the greats. So this is an example of how mighty and how strong that Jupiter really is. This is a planet that deals with wisdom. So anybody who got Jupiter in their natal charts will come into some type of wisdom, no matter if it's what it's about. It could be about cartoons, it could be about knowledge, it could be about whatever. It could be about information itself, or it could be about sports, but they're gonna have wisdom. These people gonna be wise. Somewhere, if you got Jupiter in your chart, this is one of the strong superhero placements. These people are very happy, very cheerful, very active. And I got Jupiter in the first house. This is part of my personality. These people got a big personality, big complex, a big attitude, and they think big. It ain't you can't do it, it's you could do it. So when you think of Jupiter, you think of lit. People who are lit, people who are crunk, who love to have fun. So this is anybody who got a lot of Jupiter in their chart, because this is my dominant planet. This is my dominant planet. And Jupiter is my most dominant planet, and it's in my first house. It's fiery. But also it has some Neptunian to it too. Well, Jupiter is Jupiter itself, but that's when you talk about Sagittarius. So let me get it correct. We talking about Jupiter by itself. But Jupiter got wisdom. Something about Sagittarius when you think about Jupiter, because this would really make Sagittarius Jupiter. These people go get that wisdom. They be adventurous. They want to explore because of Jupiter. But Jupiter people cranks up a party. They love to spit wisdom, and they love to hear your wisdom and your philosophy and fly lines. They don't like nothing that's bored. They free spirits, they're active, and they like to experience. So they can learn. So people got Jupiter in their natal chart, they're most likely to be wise. As they get older, they get more wise because Jupiter expands. Jupiter expands. So these are your sages. These are your preachers. These are your spiritual gurus and your healers. These are the ones who has that third eye and claircognizance, where information is coming to them out of nowhere from the universe. Because Jupiter is a planet of luck. So these are your lucky people. They're gonna be lucky. These are the ones who most likely to survive incidents and fights and everything else, unless there are other placements in your chart that will stop you from being lucky. It's Jupiter who brings you this luck. Since I got dominant here, it's a lot of situations I survived. That when people shooting bullets at my head when I was on the lower frequency, when I was doing wrong, I survived that. I mean, going through all that drama, and I survived it because of Jupiter. Jupiter is very powerful, very strong, but it's most likely a happy placement. So it makes you more happy, more cheerful. So everywhere I go, if I ain't in my teaching mode like right now, people say, "Oh, you cheerful, you happy, you stay in a good mode, very playful, very excited, and I'm very accepting." Jupiter people just like Venus, as far as accepting people, they accept you for who you are, and they want you. They want to hear your knowledge and your wisdom so they can learn. Jupiter people love to expand. Sooner or later, you will be some of the wisest souls on the planet because this is what Jupiter deals with, and so that's why the Jupiter individual make good sages and all type of stuff where they can do philosophy. They can write. They're here to write their own textbook and create new philosophy, bring new truths to the world. They like to also like to bring out the truth, like to expose stuff that's false. So Judah people, they don't believe everything they hear, even though they listen to you and they will consider your point of view, but they still gonna believe in what they believe in. They just like to hear all type of points of view and their thoughts. So these individuals, when you talk about the Jupiter, when we think of Sagittarius, you think of Jupiter. So these people are very wise, very wise. I'm talking about these are the ones you will learn from. These are the ones who do love to learn from you if it's the truth, because it's about the truth. But these are also the people who are the life of the party. They're the life of the party, who crank any party up, any environment, but they want to see that positive energy vibe because it's a positive planet. But they do have a downside, and that downside where they can exaggerate, they can over exaggerate, they can seem to be phony, but they're not. But they also could be the ones who are a know-it-all. These are the ones who people call a know-it-all all the time. They got Jupiter placement. If they call you know-it-all, maybe because you got either Jupiter or you got that Uranus in you. But we talking about Jupiter right here. Jupiter people is free spirit, just like Uranus. But Jupiter is more about luck, and they can adapt to a crowd and even lead a crowd because these are natural leaders who don't mind being in the public eye and speaks to you and teach you and show you the walk the life of a sage, and so you can elevate. They want to see you improve. So that's what the Jupiter thing is about. They love to learn so they can improve also. So they get excited about knowledge. They get excited about me going to new places, going all over the world, experiencing new things, trying out new things and learning from it. They're excited about anybody they meet, they're excited about. Like how I be excited just to meet new people, even like online, just to when you first video check somebody, you excited, even though you don't really know them, you excited just to see new people, new attitudes, just to experience. So Jupiter could be like a child. Jupiter could be sort of like a child. They could be sort of like a child right here. Jupiter people could be like a child. But this natal placement here, you're talking about gemstones, sages. This is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with these Jupiterians. These people are your truth seekers, your truth speakers. They're very expressive and they got a good communication skills and game. And so if you got Jupiter in your chart and it dominated, or it's a part of, or it's your chart ruler, anywhere in your chart, you don't have to be directly a Sagittarius, or you don't have to have Jupiter in the first house like me. You got Jupiter in the first house like me. That means like Sagittarius. It's all like a Sagittarius rise, and it's part of who you are. So it's part of my personality. When you first see me, you will get that happy, cheerful, that acceptable, that friendly, because Jupiter is friendly attitude. You will get that people who really love to meet people, love to experience you, love to really treat you nice, very kind, very giving. Jupiter people are very giving, very kind. And so this type of people you will get when you meet these people. It's because Jupiter, we got to admit, Jupiter is tough. Jupiter people are your heroes who try to save humanity if they could. I mean, they will fight because you got to understand, fire is what? Fire is bold and fire is creative. So they're super creative and super expressive. And they don't mind speaking their mind. And when they speak their mind, they're very honest. They speak bluntly, they speak very honestly, and they got a mean mouthpiece. A lot of Jupiterians speak kind of fast in a way, fiery fast. Can be kind of like aggressive, and they can talk about any subject, and they're not afraid of, and they want to hear you express yourself freely. And so they don't like to see people locked up. They don't like to see people in bondage. They don't like to see other people oppressing other people because they want to see you free. Because they're the free spirits themselves. They love that same freedom is what they love. So they don't want to see you get hurt or people trying to get you to think like them because these Jupiterians, you know? So we talking about Jupiterians people, like myself, of course, is dominate my chart. Then Neptune is second in my natal chart. So, you know, we're talking about Jupiter people, of course, they psychic because they will grow into the clairvoyance and the claircognizance as they get older. It represents the third eye, going to Spain, it's the mind. Jupiter deals with intelligence, so they're highly intellectual because they always experience things and love to experience things, always researching. These are your great researchers, so they can be great detectives. They could be the ones, anything that deals with mastery, because they can master things. Like Saturn is like the downside of what Jupiter is, but Saturn also is more serious. But Saturn also more like self-mastery. All planets is important. And Saturn is important too. But right now we're talking about Jupiter. We're talking about the ones, your spiritual gurus who love to elevate. Who talking about the spiritual realm, who they talk about God is everything. You know what I'm saying? Even God within themselves. They are gods like that there. But they can have the big complex, the God complex that people are afraid of. I done had people say, you think you God. That's what they say to me. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of energy that Jupiter carry. But in my heart, I know that I know who I am. You know what I mean? I know who I am, even though I didn't get them feedback because I know who I am. Because Jupiter people got confidence. They ain't gonna feedback to the little stuff anyway. because Jupiter people got a big complex. That's why it don't bother us. And if you talking about like them little problems, Jupiter type people, they be like, everything will work out. Everything gonna be okay. Everything is fine. That's your Jupiterian energy. They believe in like things gonna work out. They believe in that. So if you got Jupiter connected to the moon like me, which is Cancer, and this is my first house, part of my personality, you're gonna be super psychic, and you're gonna be all about the ancestors because Cancer represents the ancestors, and Jupiter already, uh, 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 they're already about God. They already spiritual. Jupiter already spiritual, already cheerful, and so my emotion will be cheerful, very go to the screen, which means very hyped, very excited, and very emotional. On the good side and the bad side. So Jupiter, whatever Jupiter touch, it expands. So if you got Jupiter connection to Venus in any type of way, it's gonna be all about love. You're gonna want to spread that love. You're gonna want to. So wherever Jupiter at, it's gonna expand it. Right now, I'm just showing you how important Jupiter is. Probably one of the most important placements here. Oh, you got Jupiter in the first house. That means that okay, you got Jupiter in the first house just like me then. So that means that if you got Jupiter in the first house, and then you got it in Virgo, that's gonna span your mind with dealing with healing. You gonna want knowledge more because Virgo love knowledge. I'm a Virgo moon. So that's part of who you are. It's in the first house. It's part of your personality. The big happy. You can be very critical, but it could be constructive criticism because Virgo is the healer. So you got many ways. You got fire mixed with earth. Come on now. This is the balance right here, which means that not only is you practical, you fun loving. Not only is you a healer in a practical way, but you're a healer in a fiery way, confident. You know what I mean? So you got the ability to heal anything, but you always find solutions. If you're not a healer, you're definitely a researcher who are like a problem solver. Because Jupiterians are problem solving, but then Virgos are problem solvers. So since you say you got Jupiter in Virgo, that's going to span your Virgo mind, which is Mercury. It's going to make you more nervous, more have anxiety, more hypochondriac, more expressive, and more analytical, and more about the knowledge right here. So, and more helping people and more serving people. You're right. If you got Jupiter there, it make you want to more help people, more serve people, and stuff like that there. And so anywhere you got Jupiter at, it's going to expand it. It makes it more. If you are Jupiter and you that's connection to Neptune or Pisces, this is gonna make you more psychic, more in tune. But see, Jupiter gonna give you that boldness, the confidence to express it and carry it out. What Jupiter do? It push you out in the open. Jupiter don't fear nothing. Jupiter is bold. It's the archer. So wherever it's at, it's gonna expand it. In African culture, Jupiter would be like Haru. In Greek culture, it's Horus. In the Bible, it's Jesus. In Hindu Buddhism, is Krishna. So this is very sacred. It is showing you uh, who Jupiter really is. It shows you that Jupiter is wise. Jupiter is confidence. Jupiter don't don't be in fear because Jupiter all about happy, and Jupiter don't trip the small stuff. What you think? What you think? Small. I mean, what you think big to Jupiter? That's really small. You know what I mean? So that's how Jupiter operate. So you say that's funny. I'm a Leo sun, Mercury Mars with a Libra. Yeah, if you got Jupiter in your chart, this is very good placement. The sun, I'm gonna get to that too, how important the sun is, because the sun is very important too. The sun is happy. It's another fiery sign. So the sun is more fixed. Jupiter is more like mutable, more on the move, on the go, and like a chameleon can fit in. Because Jupiter can trick you and deceive you. It got ways to give you the knowledge. It come many ways of give you knowledge on everybody level. They can give, it don't matter if it's black, white, purple, they can get on anybody level and spit knowledge on any level. So that's Jupiter. Jupiter know how to adapt. And Jupiter is super creative. It got many styles and many fashions. You don't see a Jupiterian one way. See what I'm saying? So you don't see a person who has a lot of Jupiter in their chart in one way. You see them teach this way, then you see them teach that way. If you see me, I got 3 channels. You see how big I do it? And I got so many videos. On one channel, I got over 1,000. Another channel, like hundreds of hundreds. And in this channel, hundreds of hundreds. So with that being said, that's Jupiterian on all type of stuff. That knowledge is deep. When we talk about those who got the Jupiter in their chart, this is probably one of the most important placements. Jupiter in the sun, and Saturn. All planets is important. You can't leave none out. But I'm speaking on Jupiter right now, because Jupiter is your sage, is the one who will teach you how to meditate and who will elevate, who's serious when it comes to the spiritual realm, who's serious when it comes to what they believe in, who's serious when it comes to the truth, who will find the truth, who are the truth seekers. That means sometimes they skip the small details because they see the big picture. Jupiterians will live by the intuition, because like Virgos is the one who just pick the details and research, and they got a keen intuition too. But Jupiter people will do it naturally, like, because it's fiery. So they're already confident, and they're so confidence is like knowing. So, but those who like Virgo, they will intellectually beat you down and find all the little pieces to the puzzle. Jupiter will skip the pieces and go strictly with their intuition and just go straight forward. See what I'm saying? So Jupiterian people, they just know the deal. The only thing about it though, about Jupiter thing, is that they can be like a know-it-all and conceited. People might see me sometimes as being conceited since I got the Jupiter in the first house placement and it dominate my chart. But the thing is, I'm not conceited. But I also got the sun that dominate my fifth house. You see, I got a what do you call it, a stellium in the fifth house, the sun house. So this is like, wow, all this fiery, but I also got a lot of water. I think I'm balanced. I'm pretty much balanced. But Jupiter placement is very hard, and these people is the one who would give you their last. They would give you, and like, say another thing about Jupiter placement. People who got a lot of Jupiter in their chart, no matter where it's at, or Sagittarius energy. I mean, if you ask a Jupiter person to buy you anything, like if you say buy me a sandwich, they will buy you 2 sandwiches. So I did that many times. They say, dog, I asked you for one. You buy me more than once. You see, that's Jupiter attitude when they do something big. Like you tell them to give you 10, they might give you 15 or 20. That's just Jupiter people. They fun love and they'll crank up a party, a vibe. They want to see you rocking, and they don't like to be bored, period. So they got the multitask. That's all that fire energy. So they very much, like I said, claircognizance, where they just know. It just coming to them out of nowhere, like downloads the information, but also the clairvoyance, where they can see auras, or they can also see spirits or see energy itself. Like I seen auras many times, not directly like a like a picture of a person, but I done seen like holographic pictures in my mind. But I see mostly like spirit, like little auras floating around where I know the spirit there, and I'm very claircognizant like that there. So Jupiterian people got that third eye. That was Jupiter represents that third eye, and so this is why Jupiter is very important. These gonna be your lifesavers, your heroes who gonna fight for you for your freedom. All the ones with Jupiterians in their chart. We ain't talking about those who got the bad aspects. We talking about Jupiter itself, the energy itself. So if Jupiter connected to Aries, you gonna be a super light hero, super croc, super. Ooh, this is a place with like dynamite, very fiery. I wouldn't want to be around you unless you balance. If you're not balanced, shoot, you want to fight everybody. Then when you do it big, and you might be a big person. You might hit hard. So because Jupiter makes it, everything expands and big and grow in martial arts. So a lot of your martial artists will have Jupiter placements like that there. So Jupiter is very excited, very tight. They don't tell you everything, but Jupiter also represents the number 3. But it also represents the number 9. You see? It's the 9th house. See, Jupiter represents the number 3 and the number 9. Like Sagittarius is 12, which is 3. The 12th month, which is 3. But Sagittarius house is number 9. So people who got number 3s in their chart, number 9s, then you can relate to Jupiter. You can relate. And also those got number 7, because Jupiter got, it's part of Pisces too. It's a little part of Pisces. It's like the co-planet of Pisces, because Neptune is the main planet, but Jupiter expands whatever it touch. So if a person got number 7s or Jupiter connected to Neptune, the Pisces was just like number 7. They don't tell you how to connect this stuff. Let me show you how to connect the dots. Okay, if your birthday is, for example, I ain't even got to do the year. I'm gonna say my birthday. If your birthday like October the 9th, that's 10-9, right? Okay, when you add up 10 and 9, you get 19, and then you add up 1 plus 9, you get 10. You break it down to a single number. So my attitude number 1. You add up my attitude number and the day I born on. The day I born on is the 9th. So the 1 represents the sun, and 9 represents, it could be Jupiter, it could be Mars and Pluto. So all you do, you take number 1, take the sun conjunction to Jupiter, like that there, or sun conjunction to Mars, or sun conjunction to Pluto. That's how it operates. You see, they don't tell you all this here, so you can use numbers and do a conjunction, and also you all should do like the downside of conjunction, which is the opposition. Like I say, sun conjunction to Jupiter, but also it's good to do sun. It's also good to do sun that's opposing Jupiter. That's the downside of your personality. That's all you have to do. You see, I'm showing you another way of how to do this. And one thing I learned is that astrology, it relates to my numerology numbers. Like I'm a life path 7, my soul number of the day I born on number 9, my attitude number 1. So I born October the 9th, 1977. So when I look at my natal chart, number 1 is what? The sun. And in astrology, the 5th house dominate, right? The 5th house dominate in my natal chart. And then number 9 is Mars and Pluto. Pluto is part of my sun, is conjuncted to my sun. You see? The sun conjunction to Pluto is in my natal chart. So it's 1 conjunction to 9. You see? That's how I operate. But they also got sun square to Mars. And Mars is number 9. And number 1 is my attitude number. You see? In my natal chart. You see how it works? They don't tell you all this. That numerology, it fits a lot of people charts. The 3 numbers, your 3 most important numbers fit your natal charts. I know I'm talking about Jupiter, but right now I'm trying to show you something too in the mix, because it's Jupiter expanding. I'm having you like, oh wow. That's how it works. Numerology and astrology work hand in hand, beautiful people. Because my sun conjunction to Jupiter. I got Jupiter in my 1st house. It's part of who I am, you see? And Jupiter dominate my natal chart. I said number 9, number 3 is Jupiter planet. Also, number 7 got Jupiter in it. You see, every number got more than 1 planet. So I'm life path 7, but my midheavens is Pisces, you see? And Pisces is over number 7, but also Cancer, the moon, is my chart ruler, because 7 is also the moon and Neptune. You see? Now y'all getting a big picture here. But when I look at other people's chart, I see the same relation. I look at the 3 numbers. I look at the attitude number, which is also called AKA your sun number. Then I look at the day they're born on number, and then I look at their life path numbers. And so then I look at their natal chart, and I see the same thing goes on no matter the time. This is crazy. But this is how it works. You know, it's just that astrology going a little bit more deeper because a lot of details. But numbers itself, you will get a lot of details. You go to the right person like myself. I can break you down just with numbers, give you the upside and the downside of your personality. So numbers is always accurate in a quick way. But when we talk about Jupiter itself, Jupiter is very exciting. They like to take risks, gambling, like that there. These people are the ones who good storytellers. They could tell you a good story. They could sell stories. So they make good business people. So they could sell you game, and they good with the mouthpiece. So Jupiterians, though, they love knowledge. They love to help you elevate in the spiritual realm. So these ones who be into the hidden knowledge, what they call the occult knowledge, they like to be into knowledge that other people they never think of, and they like to expand on it. They might seem slow in their younger years, but as they get older, they get more wiser. So you might see a person who you thought was dumb all your life. Now, as they get older, they wiser because of Jupiter. You didn't know, but now you know because of Jupiter. So your Jupiter is in Aries in the 9th house. Oh, you got Jupiter in the house. Oh, you got Jupiter in his own house. That's Jupiter house, which is not the 9th house. So you're a true Jupiterian. And then you got Aries in the 9th house. Shoot, you fiery. You that fun loving. You go see Aries are go-getters. They go getters. I love Aries. The only thing about the Aries, a lot of Aries, I can't personally like have as my soulmate. They can be my friend though, cause I love their spirit. They have me laughing and they just straight up, you know what I mean? And but far as since I got the Libra as my son, and I most love peace, I can't have that all the time. Aries be crunk all the time, like. But Aries make example of things. That's a good thing about the Aries though. They make an example. They make a good example out of things. They the role model that you want to follow because they will show you to be strong. It don't matter how big they is. It don't matter how little it is. That's one thing about Aries that I like. I love to death. But when we talk about Jupiter, Jupiter will expand anything. It expand a rock. It expand a building. It expand. It expand your mind. It expand your spirit. It expand your emotions. Expand anything. So it's good to adopt that Jupiter placement. Jupiter is very exciting. Jupiter is very exciting. I'm telling you. I love Jupiterians. Jupiterian attitudes. It's very, very loving. You got Jupiter in Libra. Oh, whoa. This is gonna in the first house. Oh, you very happy. You very excited. You very peace loving. So this is gonna span. This is gonna span your love for peace. It's gonna span your crave for love. It's gonna span your crave not only for love for others, but yourself and others. So you can be the great teacher when it comes to love. Because in the first house, part of who you are. Love everything. I love you. Universal love. Family. Family this. Family here. You love everybody. Friends. Stuff like that attitude. Unless you got something that's going against your Jupiter. Unless you got other placements that's going against your Jupiter or your Libra. But other than that, you will love everybody. You love some of everybody, everything. And then Libras about knowledge. Libras is has telepathy power. They know the mind. They probably know what you're about to say next. Because as you talk, they can finish your sentence and what you about to say next. So and Libra also empaths. So because they're all about love. Anything that deal with love is empath. So they focus on love. They'll cry about love. That's one thing people don't know about Libra, even though it's an air sign, they will cry when it comes to love. When it comes to how much they love you, all the bad in the world, they don't like it because they like peace and harmony. They even will fight for it. Libra, this is because Libra's about justice too. So Jupiter fit ready and good with Libra because Libra's already about justice. They're all about truth. You see, and they the scale. So as long as you got balance, you will move correctly. You move good. So that's the key. That's the key to you. You'll be good. She says Jupiter and Leo. Oh, 11th house. You got it in the house of Uranus. You different then. I'm gonna say you got Jupiter in 11th house. You very much different. You like personality who you need, and you confidence in it because you got Jupiter there. Unless you got something blocking you, you got other placement that's blocking you like a square or opposition. But other than that, you very confident. You love who you be. You love to be different, and you like people who are different. And so your expansion deal with knowledge, of course, being your own invention, creating something new inventions, come up new ideas, and people love to hear your ideas, and you love to express it because Jupiter put expression in you. You just not like the regular Aquarius because this is the 11th house, Jupiter in the 11th house. So you definitely the humanitarian who actually would carry it out, not only in your thoughts and your mind, and got ways to carry it out. Jupiter give you the ability to be an activist in your community or be not only community but worldwide. And your activists could be through this speaking and communication with knowledge, fast thoughts, because Uranus is fast. So when you're in the house of Uranus or Uranus, when the African culture we say Wajet, Ujet, which is another name for Aset in a way, a newt. So um, Jupiter will give you that ability to bring all type of things your way. This is a beautiful placement right here. This is nice. This is very nice right here. Then you said Jupiter in Leo. Oh, you very playful. Oh, you can be childish. I tell you that. Whew. You very playful, but it's all good though, because you fun loving. And it's not too much to get you down. You go for what you want. As long as you don't be selfish, because since you got Jupiter in Leo, and Leo kind of opposes it kind of opposes Aquarius in some aspects. So you can sometimes have problems being different like that there. So yeah, sometimes have a problem being different. But the thing is, you fun loving and very excited, very interesting, very quick pace, and you don't like to be bored because, and plus you like children, kids, or since you got you since you're in the house, Uranus, you also can have difficulty with kids. You have problems with kids also. So don't get me wrong. You can have problem with kids. You can have problems. She says she got Jupiter in 11th house. This is expansion of Uranus, expansion of the higher mind. So Jupiter love this house because the reason why Jupiter would love it, because you got to understand, you two free spirit. Uranus is free spirit and Jupiter. So woo, 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 woo. You all about how the energy flow. You definitely cognitive get downloads information more than anyone from the universe, and you will continue to expand in that as you get older. You just gonna know things and say, oh, the answer came to me. Oh, I got it. I got the answer right now. It just come to you out of nowhere, like a lightning bolt. You don't know how you did it, but the answer just come to you. You like, wow. You like, wow. Out of nowhere, I know the answer. You might be looking for. You trying to solve a problem or something, and you don't know at the time you might can't think of it, and then all of a sudden just hit you like a light bulb. You get information just like that. There, that's that Jupiter expanding your Uranus in the house of Uranus and Aquarius. So this very excited, important placement right here. She says I have Jupiter in Pisces. In 11th house, you got Pisces in 11th house. Dude, this is very crazy here. This is a very crazy placement right here. Neptune, Pisces in 11th house. Whew. This is like Pisces do what they want. They on their own love frequency in the higher world, like their own souls in 11th house. 11 old souls in the higher mind. So that means that you stay in la la land, fantasy land. Like one day you could just be chilling, or you could be out somewhere, and all of a sudden just hit you because Uranus deal with all of a sudden energy. So all of a sudden it just hits you. You just now you all of a sudden in la la land. They like come up out that world. They probably be snapping their finger. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? You be fantasizing about something good, about love, especially. Yes, I understand you. That's your nature. I understand you. Especially when you got we talking about Jupiter in the 11th house, but also Pisces in the 11th house. This is like woo, wild placement right here. Cause you be all over the place. Wild thoughts. You can hang with the lower the low. You can hang with like people lower class in the streets that don't bother you. You can be anywhere. This type of placement this is, but also you can crank up a party, crank up a whole universe. You be a great teacher too. So I forgot to tell y'all that Jupiter deals with people who are great teachers, great who could teach any subjects, any subjects. Say if you can have Chiron and Aries, oh, you got Chiron in the ninth house. Oh, so your problem lies in the ninth house. We're dealing with that deals with your womb healer deals with Sagittarius energy, getting that knowledge, going through what people don't think you smart enough or good enough. Where people always criticizing you when it comes to how big your ideas is, or how big you think, or you might feel like you don't fit in because you might feel like you're above everyone else, because everybody on lower standard type stuff, or lower they can't meet your standards, or they on a lower vibration, which means that they can't feel you because you feel like they're too slow for you like that. So you might go through stuff like that. They're dealing with people, or you might deal with people who think too big, who think they're better than you or bigger than you, and you might don't like that. You might go through it and fight against that, fight against people. And after you accomplish this placement, you could be the wound healer, teach people. You can teach people how to heal themselves when dealing with knowledge, and how to grow in this house, which is the ninth house. When dealing with knowledge and traveling and information. Because Jupiter deals with traveling too now. It deals with doing it big, traveling the world, but also traveling the mind. So Jupiter is very important. Jupiter and Aries in here. So your trouble, your troubles in Aries. Your trouble deal with people who they think they're tougher than you, or very competitive, very competitive. Your trouble deal with competing and being competitive, and you want to win and stuff like that. That's your wound healer. You will go through. fights and go through arguments and battles all your life. Since you got Chiron and Aries, and especially Chiron. So that's what it deals with. Definitely got going to tap into more of your videos. Yes, I'll be doing this more. If y'all just come on here, we can crank something up on this platform. Because Jupiter is very important. They're very nice people. And if you attract a lot of nice people, yes, Jupiter do that. Also, the sun do that too, the sun energy. But Jupiter is so giving and so nice. You're going to continue to attract more because Jupiter will expand this all throughout your life. And everybody who around you in your life will expand too. If you're in the right mind and everybody who around you who got love for you, they will expand too. They will grow, they will prosper. Because Jupiter deal with prosperity. It deals with prosperity. So you will prosper too. You will prosper too in each and every way. So anybody who around you who come into your life, they will love you because you will prosper too. They will prosper too. It don't matter who it is. So that's the thing about Jupiter. I love that. I love this place because it deal with fortune, it deal with prosperity, it deal with good luck. So you might be in a situation where you just got get out the situation due to your Jupiter placement. You get out of all type of situations and you wonder why. And you be like, this is a miracle. Because you got that Jupiter here too. So just look in your chart for Jupiter. This is one of the luckiest placements there is. Said, thanks. I need to get that. Okay, rectified. Yeah, I could go in deeper. I'll just give a little bit because I'm doing like Jupiter placement right here. I'm just hype. I'm just crunk when I'm talking about the Jupiter energy right here. I do feel pretty lucky, laughing out loud. Okay. You lucky. More than lucky. I'm talking about more than lucky. And Jupiter placement, they feel like that. They feel lucky. They feel like there's the source with them. They feel like God is with them and everything. So Jupiter always feel that divine presence and they got confidence in that area right there. They always say things will get better. They always tell people things will get better. Like everybody else complain, but when you got Jupiter right here, they say they the one who inspire you and cheer you up and say things gonna be all right, things gonna be okay. While other people's like, oh, is you sure things gonna be okay? But Jupiter people like, yes, it's gonna be okay. Yes, it's gonna be all right. So this is the type of love you get when dealing with Jupiter right here. So it's a very good placement. I love that Jupiter is part of my life because it give me the wisdom. I speak philosophy all the time, and people like you all speaking wisely, the wise man. It make you the wise woman or the wise man. Those who got Jupiter placement, Jupiterians. And so this is one of the placement now. I love all of the energy. All is deal with energy at the end of the day. It deal with energy and vibration and frequency in whatever area it plays a part in your life. So that's what it deals with. You said Jupiter, you got Jupiter in what house? Jupiter in second house? Okay. Jupiter second house makes you more of a hard worker, expands that. It makes you more love the good life, because Venus is the good life, the house of Taurus. So you love the good life more, and it makes you more persistence and more dominance and more aggressive type of Taurus energy. It's not just a pretty boy or pretty girl energy. You know what I'm saying? Deal with beauty. You love beauty more. Not only do you like to be practical and be like laid back like a Taurus, but you also could be aggressive because you got Jupiter here. So Jupiter would expand your Taurian nature, your Taurus nature though. It can make you super cool too. It's gonna expand whatever Taurus is, but also add some fiery to it so you have more energy. Because Taurus already got all that energy. Taurus already tough. Is the bull. And Taurus people are very strong. So it's gonna add more toughness to you, but more aggressiveness to you too. Because not only do you see the big picture when it comes to money and jobs, you also think big. You think big money. You don't think little money. And the people with small money, you the type that don't trip there. Like other people might get jealous because the person got a little bit of money. You don't. You be like, this too small for me. That's the type of attitude that Jupiter in the second house got. It's about what they value. It's about they are go-getters naturally. So in this house here, you're gonna live the good life. It ain't no if ands or buts about it unless you're on the downside. You know what I mean? Unless you're struggling, unless you're on the downside of your placement, or you got something in your chart that's blocking that. But your blessing will be when it comes to business, when it comes to money, when it comes to landscape, when it comes to nature, selling products in nature, when it comes to cooking, when it comes to Yeah, cooking, on a restaurant, on the businesses. This your luck. You could do this naturally. Business from business. And so with the Jupiter placement right here, this all this let you know right here. See, Jupiter in Taurus in the sixth house. Oh, you got Jupiter in the house of Virgo. This is the house of Virgo. This is gonna span your love for analyzing and observing. It's gonna span your love for healing and helping to serve people. It's gonna span your love. It's like you'll be a surgeon or a doctor or a therapist or a counselor, but you're a humanitarian naturally because it's in the house of Virgo, sixth house. So you got Taurus in the sixth house. Shoot, it's in the house of Earth, so it can identify with it. But the way you do it is gonna be it's a stylish way. You stylish person, elegance when you go to work, healing and very makes you super creative because you got Venus here, so you're gonna make you extra love it. But at the same time, you can have conflict. You can also have conflict because Venus here, and Venus sometimes can't do well with Mercury. So you can have conflict sometimes when dealing with the mind, your thoughts, or when dealing with love. And you might go through it and go through being single until you learn how to love yourself and learn how to grow mentally too. So your mind will have to be able to compromise with Venus. That's how you win. So this is how you win right here. So what you say, you got Saturn in the sixth house, but in this house you disciplined then. You disciplined. So not only you got Jupiter here, so it'd be a conflict between you being hyper sometimes, and sometimes you don't be disciplined, or you be the free spirit. Sometimes you like order and structure. So since you got Earth overtaking that, because you got Taurus here too, so you most likely want to be organized and structured since you got Saturn in the sixth house, and then it's the house of Earth. So sometimes you want to be out there, you want to have fun, you want to be fiery, you want to explore, you want to do utilize that Jupiter energy. Sometimes you smile and sometimes you don't because you could be very serious right here. That's how it operates. Thank you too. Thank you too. I'm just giving y'all a little bit, as we continue going, y'all gonna learn astrology yourself. Y'all gonna be doing the whole household in a minute, because this is what Jupiterians do. They get that lesson. I'm talking about, like, not only is I'm Jupiterian, I also got Mercury, which is I'm a Virgo moon, which I do the details. I do like Jupiterians can miss the detail. I got Mercury moon, which is Virgo moon, which I'm gonna not only do it big, but also the details. I'm mutable two times, fiery and earthly. So that's the thing about that. The natal chart is a lot. We made up a whole universe. So you can see the parts that most identify with you. I see almost probably everything in my natal chart almost identify with me, and that's a lot of stuff. But I'm very excited. I say I got more of fiery in me. I'm very crunk, even though they say that water and air dominate my chart. Even though I got a balance, like, cause earth and fire are balanced, but my house is my dominant house is the fifth house, which is Leo. But also my dominant planet is Jupiter. So I got a lot of fiery in me too. So with that being said, you see, I think Gordon Ramsay has Virgo moon. Y'all not the ones. What you mean we not the ones? Hey there, I'm late. Have you talking about Jupiter in Scorpio? Oh, Jupiter in Scorpio? That's amazing. So Jupiter, wisdom is power. Because Jupiter is wisdom, Scorpio is power. Scorpio is Pluto is power. You said Scorpio. So Scorpio is power. So this is gonna span your psychic abilities. It's gonna span your bullshit lie detector to see through people BS. This is gonna span your toughness. This is gonna make you more excited because you got Jupiter there, and so you the type definitely who gonna be very strong type of individual. No matter if you male or female, you'll be very strong. Period. And you don't like weakness. So that's the thing about Scorpio people. They don't like weakness. But see, Jupiter gonna help you to be able to compromise this fire right here. So, but at times you really don't like weakness. But when you become your higher self, since Scorpio deal with mastery too, just like Jupiter in a way, this gonna make you a better person. But you will go through things. You will go through things that deal with death, that deal with birth, that deals with birth, death, sex, and some people go through getting raped and all that in a big way. Since you got Jupiter here, I ain't saying that you did or didn't, but some people go through that, because Scorpio deal with rape. I mean, deal with sex. They deal with obsessive people being obsessive. You can be obsessive when it comes to knowledge. I'm not saying you got raped. I'm just telling you what Pluto deals with. But Pluto Scorpio. But Scorpio deals with also being obsessive about something. You can be obsessive about your mate that you mess with. Obsessive, since you got Jupiter here, it would expand that. Make you more obsessive of the person, or obsessive of knowledge. You can be obsessive whatever you into. You can be very obsessive. Go to the screen. Jupiter would expand that. So as long as you, since Scorpio deal with transformation, as long as you learn from your lessons and transform, because your personality is always changing. Your personality is always changing due to Pluto, Scorpio. Shoot, because your whole thing is to get better, transform to your highest self, your highest potential, and most likely you're gonna be good at something or leave a mark in something in your life. You're gonna be good at something. I mean, where people like when you move, people see you. They can't do nothing but see you. You represent power. It don't matter if you be silenced in the corner, you're gonna be recognized. Not only do you got Scorpio there, who is powerful, but you got Jupiter, which is gonna spans that, makes you more powerful. So this is what I'm talking about right here. So far as we talking about sexual trauma, that don't mean you got that, but it deal with sex. It deal with like you love sex. You go to the screen with dealing with sex. So it's either or. So that's why I always say either or. It could be this, it could be that. But we know that it deals with sex. It could be expanding it sexually, or it could be like some people get raped in their childhood. Since you got Jupiter here, a lot of people wouldn't get raped because Jupiter is a lucky placement. Jupiter is the type where number positive things will happen for you. So that's the good thing. Unless you got other stuff in your natal chart to say that. But other than that, Jupiter and Scorpio is a very powerful place. They will leave a mark in the world. It could be the knowledge. We don't get recognition for something. Because Scorpio here, Scorpio want power. Scorpio don't coattail or ride nobody coattail. And Jupiter going to span that. Jupiter going to span that. Makes you be your own person. It's going to make you be more of you and more bigger and grow more bigger in a Scorpion way. So with the Scorpion claws out, Scorpion people good at finances. So when it comes to money, you be good at that. When it comes to anything you put your mind to, so Scorpio is very psychic and like your mediums and stuff. It would expand your mediumship, pick up on energy, and also to talk to the ancestors and talk to spirits and talk to guides. It makes you highly intuitive, highly psychic. Right here. Let's see who else we got right here. I'm just giving you a little bit now. You said, I am a Capricorn moon. So it makes you more practical. Capricorn moon. So this makes you a leader moon, more practical moon, more a business type person, more handle your business type person and handle your responsibility. I get you. I get you. All about setting a foundation, a family foundation. So that's a good thing. But so it makes you very loyal in a way. But also Capricorn got a dark side too. And they don't play. They can be very strong. So just thank you, man, for real. You're great. You said Nicki Minaj, she got a Virgo moon. That's why she very talkative. She talk fast because she got Sagittarius in her chart. She's Sagittarius and she got Virgo moon. That's a talkative combination. She talk very fast. That's how she talk. She talk very smooth, and she a good conversationalist. So now y'all know why I have Venus in Gemini. Are your Venus in the 10th house? It's part of your career. So your career deals with beauty, styles, cosmetic, doing hair, doing clothes, fashion designer, love, music, being a rapper, singer. Since it's in the 10th house. And you got Gemini there, that makes you good at communicating, expressing about love, expressing about your designs, being very expressive. So your careers do with 10th house. You got square to Jupiter. Okay, now I see what you say. You got square to Jupiter in the first house. I'll be back for more videos on this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving y'all a head start. We're gonna be doing this more. I love astrology. I ain't gonna. I would not lie to you. You Ten of Dimes, Life Path 9. Ooh, that's universal love there. Life Path 9, universal. I have Virgo moon. Oh, your moon is second house, so your moon deals with Venus. It's that earthly connection. So so this makes you more. This makes you more since you got the moon in the second house. This makes you more about an empath. You're very clairsentient. You can feel people pain and emotions through your body. So when it comes to love, when it comes to family, when it comes to structure, because the moon is family oriented, and they're all about ancestors and nurturing. So we got it in the place of the second house is very practical. Your emotion would show. You would show your emotions. You would show your emotions like that there. I will talk more about this, beautiful people, but Jupiter is a good placement to have right here. Help you spans whatever placement that it's in. Somebody calling me right now, but I talk to y'all later. I love y'all, beautiful people. I'm out.